Through Loveworks leadership, in which they asked the question, what would it be like if middle school students could experience a tech startup, a true Silicon Valley style tech startup. And what we ended up doing was empowering 10 middle school students to start their own company, which is a tech company creating an augmented reality product that you'll hear about in a minute. That's all I have to say about it. So I'm going to turn it over to the team and let them do their thing.
I'm Emma, and about 10 months ago in August, 10 middle school students were selected to be part of this new company called RealTech, with the idea that we're going to create a new augmented reality product. Now, we all had to write resumes for this, and we've been meeting 2 times a week ever since. The ultimate goal of all of this was to create Wristworld, and it's exactly how it sounds, a whole world on your wrist. Now, within our company, we have 3 different teams, the first one being the 3D modeling team. Now, what the 3D modeling team does is they use softwares like Maya and Unity to really model our characters and landscapes that they will then put into the game. Now, our next team is the art and design team. Now, what they do is they really draw out all our characters and landscapes, and they really rely on the 3D modeling team to then put their designs into the game. Now, the art and design team also designs the logos for our last and final team, the marketing team. Now, what the marketing team does is they really get our product out there to the world by using social medias like Facebook and Instagram. They also do our budgeting. Now, being on the marketing team, I learned that coming up with great ideas is not super easy. There's techniques and really that we've been using to come up with those great ideas. But you guys probably want to know what the product is, right? Yes. So let me let Katie tell you all about that.
Alright, so our product consists of 4 augmented reality wristbands. Each band is like a different realm or level within Wristworld, and ultimately you will need all 4 to reach the climax of saving Wristworld. Now within our app we have 2 game modes. First we have game mode and then wrist mode. Now game mode is usually played on a flat surface with your wristband laid out so that you can operate your device with 2 hands. Now, within Wristworld, you can meet characters and collect items, and as you collect items, they will help you move on to different rooms or through worlds, and you can cross terrains, and you ultimately learn the story as you move along. Now, not only can you collect items that help you in the game, you can also collect items that help and you can show off and display in wrist mode. So wrist mode is played on your wrist, and you can display your character and show the items you've collected or your outfits and even your abilities. So some abilities may be your fighting stance, while others may even be dance moves. So yes, it was so amazing. 10 months ago, 10 middle school students sat down in a room with an idea that we wanted to create augmented reality toys. And it's so amazing to see it 10 months later that we have a product in our hands, and we've pitched it to so many very influencing people, and they've loved the idea, so that has been so inspiring. And so once we had our product in our hand, we were ready to have our big debut. And we did that by going to the New York International Toy Fair. So at the Toy Fair, we got to talk with so many amazing important companies like Apple, Sega, Hasbro, and we got great feedback from them. And we got to run our booth, we got to talk, just show off all the work that we had come up with. And though we couldn't get our whole team into the Toy Fair, we had the rest of our team prowling New York City for more opportunities. So while we were there, we went to a public relations firm and got to talk with one of their staff members. And we also went to Nintendo and talked with 2 of their staff members about the gaming industry. And that, along with so many other places we went and things we learned. Now, this all sounds great and fun and everything, but it was very, very hard to overcome. There were some challenges that were very hard to overcome. And this wasn't only here in New York, but back in Oklahoma, but this is one of our favorite examples. So, a toy fair, that's great. Kids developing a toy, that's awesome. But not really. So there's this little policy that says, no one under the age of 18 can enter the toy fair. So that was just a bit of an issue for our 10 middle school students. So call after call, email upon email, many tears of shed, we finally got 6 passes into the toy fair, and we 10 middle school students got to display and show our own product. Now, we are so proud of our accomplishments then, but we are ready to achieve so much more. And I'll let Ray tell you about our next big thing, our Kickstarter.
So yeah, after we had kind of our prototype ready, we decided to run our Kickstarter with the goal of raising $22,000. With this money, we're hoping to make our product go from store ready, so basically prototyping the product, kind of refining it, making our packaging so much better. And with our $22,000, we can make a great game, but we have some stretch goals along with it. Some of our stretch goals include better checkpoints, or health, life points, things like that. But it gets a little more interesting once you go down the list. We have 4 bonus outfits, and this is just to spice up the game a little more, along with magical weapons, because who wouldn't want magical weapons in a video game? It's amazing. And of course, hopefully, if we reach this, we can add a part 2 to the game, which would be really cool. So, if you guys are probably familiar how Kickstarter works, there's funding tiers, depending how much you fund is your tiers. So as you see, we have some lower price points, such as a sticker, a poster, or the game itself, which is $30. Or you can go down and have some more interesting, such as the Mochi package. This is Mochi, as you see right here, and he's one of the more popular characters. Everybody loves him. And so, the package is just completely devoted to him. Next down the list, you have to meet the team on location. This location could be at the toy fair even, kind of learning our process of how we sell things or how we work together. And finally, the best package you can get, you would be in the game. And who wouldn't want to be in the game? Because it is a game, of course, and it's such a cool game too. So, yeah. And so thank you guys for all listening and being here. We really hope you guys will help us and just be supporting us. So what you guys been waiting for, a teaser of our Kickstarter video.
Darkness is taking over the land, and according to legend, only a human can stop it. Someone brave enough to enter a world entirely on your wrist. Through 4 slap bands and the magic of augmented reality, Wristworld produces a holographic gaming experience, allowing players to explore lands, collect items, solve puzzles, and defeat enemies. Each wristband is a different level of Wristworld, and all 4 must be completed to win the game. As you collect items and unlock abilities, go to Wrist Mode and see them up close, where your character gains the ability to do incredible things like dancing. Our team of talented coders, engineers, and designers created Wristworld with the goal of...
You guys, let's go to Kickstarter. Thank you guys so much.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate it. We'll have you come. Actually, if you're a part of the Wristworld team, would you guys go ahead and stand up? I want to make sure everybody gets to say thank you. Thank you very much. It's a fantastic team. I guess everybody's here today, too. How awesome is that? It just tells you about the team and what they've done. You guys can go ahead and sit down if you'd like to. That's great. I know that we're going to take a few minutes here just to ask questions, and I think we'll probably tag team. Is that okay if we ask you guys a couple of questions? We'll do that. I'll certainly pass the microphone back to you. You can jump back up, or if Brent wants to help on some of that, too. We can do it, or if you guys need to...
Well, actually, I was going to, maybe what we could do is let the team introduce themselves and what they do on the team, and then the whole team is prepared to answer questions. So if you guys just want to stand up here, introduce yourselves, and then you guys can hammer them.
We're a tough crowd, so I'll tell you what, you guys come on back up here if you would, and you'll turn around, face the audience, and then let you introduce yourselves, and then we'll have a few questions.
I'm Emma, and I'm on the marketing team of our company.
I'm Katie. I'm on the marketing team. I'm 13 years old.
I'm Brady, I'm on the marketing team, I'm 14 years old.
I'm Brad Sparks, and I'm on the art team, and I'm in Pittsburgh.
My name is Connor, and I'm on no team yet. And I'm 13.
I'm HJ, I'm on the 3D modeling team, and I'm 11.
I'm Mario, I'm on the 3D modeling team, I'm 12. I'm Gavin, I'm on the 3D modeling team, and I'm 14.
I'm Aiden, I'm on the art team, and I'm 15.
I'm Dakota, I'm on the art team, and I'm 15.
Perfect. I'll just leave the microphone right there. I think I can ask a question. Are there questions from the audience? I know there's a lot probably about what we want to ask these young entrepreneurs. So let's read it.
Where do you produce your items? We have a producer in China.
In China? Okay.
Okay, looks like a question.
What's the marketing age range for consumers?
So we're kind of, right now we're looking for selling to kind of our middle school, high school ages because it is kind of a fun game. You have to think about it a lot. And so we kind of made it so it's challenging, but it's not too challenging for, let's say, a 14-year-old.
Other questions? Go ahead, Trey, please.
So, being that your production is in China, how quickly can you get additional items? Like if you had a really large order, how does that work?
So how we get our wristbands in on time. So our first order from China was for the New York International Toy Fair. But as you're building a startup, you learn a lot of things. So Chinese New Year is a big deal in China. And so they totally shut down all factories, everything shut down. So they left us hanging. So we had to go to another producer to get us wristbands for the New York International Toy Fair. So we actually haven't gotten our first order here yet, so we're still figuring that out.
Okay.
Question right.
Yeah, once you guys get into production, like how much do you see charging per wristband for some of these models?
Well, our retail is $30, and it costs us $5 to make the band.
Nice margins.
Pretty good, Dr. Mark. Yes, sir.
It's very interesting that so young people make business for our country, for example, like Kazakhstan. So I just want to tell you how this started, whose this was idea, how you came to this presentation now.
Well, we were at a Loveworks camp, and they just brought up the idea at the very end of it, saying, what would you guys think if 10 middle schoolers started their own startup company? So then we put in a bunch of our resumes, and then us two got picked to finish the idea.
And how long ago did you start this?
We started about 10 months ago.
Thank you.
Question up here?
Yeah, have you guys talked to middle school and high schoolers from other schools, and what do they think about it?
So as we just being talkative, I've talked to a lot of my friends about my business, and I've showed them the demos, I've actually showed them some how the prototype looks, and they've all really liked the product, and they really like the story behind it, about middle school students creating it. And so what I've heard was all just positive feedback from my friends, and of course they're my friends, but I've also asked some other middle school students, and they seem to really like it, but I can see what have your friends said about it.
Yeah, so we've talked to definitely everyone at our schools, and everyone's been so excited and just mind blown. Like when I have to tell my friends that I'm not going to be at school the next day because I am doing a Million Cups presentation. So it's just so exciting to get to tell people and show off everything we worked so hard for.
Okay.
This is more of a comment and a compliment. I was so impressed to see a brown-skinned person in your design. And so as you go forward and continue designing, continue to think about what your world looks like. I think you guys are Generation Z or just a little bit younger. And you are also getting some invaluable experience working internationally as well. The lesson about Chinese New Year is a cultural lesson that even college students that I teach have not experienced yet. So embrace all of the international and diverse experience that you're getting as young people.
So,
Thank you.
other questions or thoughts? Like Sue, bring it back.
It sounds like you've gotten lots of positive feedback, which is great, but can you share one example of some critical feedback and what the team did with that information?
While we were at the toy fair, we got a lot of harsh kind of feedback about how that they told us our product was great, but we needed to change our packaging a lot.
So what do you mean by changing the packaging?
We had it first on like a cardboard hand, and had the wristband around it. And they were thinking more of like having the big box thing, thinking of you get more for what you're paying for.
They actually said, your product is so great, your packaging is so horrible. It's kind of like Michael Jordan wearing Walmart tennis shoes. That's how they refer to our packaging. They don't hold any punches in this one, great.
Henry,
What's the most important thing you learned working on this team?
Well, I've learned a ton of 3D modeling software, stuff like that, designing and creating, which will help me pursue like a career in like computer science or like modeling and making.
I've learned a lot about 3D modeling and like working as a team together, and this will like help me getting a career in like computer engineering.
Very nice.
I've just learned a lot about 3D modeling, like I said, how computers work and different programs such as Maya and Unity, and how to 3D modeling and just a better understanding how a company how a company runs.
I've learned a lot about designing and like art and stuff, so I could pursue a career in graphic design, and I've also learned a lot about public speaking and communication.
Cool. I too have also learned a lot about public speaking and how to become a better drawer.
You guys want to share what you guys want to share? Connor just joined the team 2 weeks ago, so he's kind of thrown into it.
Yeah.
So, the biggest thing I've learned is like how to run social media, because it sounds very easy on paper. It is not. And so I've just learned a lot about how to get our word out there, and that it's really hard to just be the person who steps in and says something about your company instead of just waiting there, kind of just waddling around, waiting for the opportunity to come up. But it's really fun just kind of learning how to do all these new things, and especially really important, there are a lot of opportunities with this company.
Cool. You want to pass that down, Brady?
One of the big things that I learned was that being able to take failure not as a bad thing, but as a learning experience. If you think of like a door-to-door salesman, half of their customers slam the door in their face and say, "Don't come back."
I heard that, but
But like us, whenever they tell us, "Our product is great, your packaging is terrible," you have to take that as, okay, it's not a bad thing. We need to change our packaging because we got very good advice.
Being on the marketing team, I'm naturally a really talkative person and I'm really like perky and everything. So being on the marketing team has been so amazing because I got to use my inborn talent and develop it. Like people skills it's going to be one of the most important things that you ever deal with. Whatever job you have, you require people skills. Everything is just so important. And even just making friends and networking. People skills is very important.
perfect.
Also being on the marketing team, I'd say some of the big things that I've learned is about public speaking and how to really talk to people about our product, and also how to run a business and package it and really come up with the how much it's going to cost and all the budget. So I'm really excited.
Good job. Time for one or two last questions.
What's a few things that the community here in Norman can do to support you guys with your business?
So ultimately, like the most important thing you guys can do for us is help spread the word, because all of you are very well connected business people, and just the power of the word of mouth is just amazing. Like referring people to our Kickstarter or letting them know that middle school students through Loveworks are developing their own products. And however you feel it's fit to support or spread the word, whatever you're comfortable with, we would appreciate anything.
That's great. One more question. We have that last one. Okay, let's do it. Yep.
What do you see as an obstacle to bringing this to market fully at this point?
Well, probably because there's a bunch of different games out there that are very mainstream. So it would be kind of hard to get a new kind of game out there.
And also, whenever you go to like a toy distributor, you can say like, we have a toy that's being made by middle schoolers. They may think, oh, it's just something that you did in the camp and it's not anything good, and they don't accept you. So kind of like being able to actually convince them that middle schoolers made a good quality game that is ready for the market.
Yeah, one of our biggest things we got at the toy fair was we would get, a little bit separated from the adults, and they would say, "So who's really doing all this work?" I would say, 10 middle school students back in Oklahoma are developing this product. And they're like, "But what do you actually do?" And I'm like, so that's one of the obstacles, is to get them to believe and see how capable we really are. And that's just so amazing for us and for inspiring all young people everywhere.
Probably another thing is finding the right person and the right store to get it into, because if you choose the wrong one, it could be like you may not get as much people to buy it, or it may not be as well. And it may just go into the bargain bin, so you never know what person you really want to get it out.
All right, guys, say thank you.